I mean, I like signing autographs. I still like it to this day. I just went away from it. And the reason I went away from it was I never thought that I was more important than anybody else. Never thought about me being bigger than anybody else. I just played the game of baseball. I played the game like everybody else played.
Willie Wilson carved out a legendary name for himself in the baseball world, earning him fame and success. But just as his star was at its brightest, a devastating drug scandal cast a dark shadow over everything he had achieved. Willie James Wilson is a former professional baseball player from America who spent 19 seasons in Major League Baseball. He played for the Kansas City Royals, Oakland Athletics, and Chicago Cubs. Known for his speed and skill as a leadoff hitter, Wilson was an impressive outfielder. He stole 668 bases in his career, ranking him 12th all-time among major leaguers. Unfortunately, his reputation took a hit due to a drug scandal. But before we tell you all the details, make sure to subscribe. After the 1983 season ended, Wilson found himself caught up in a drug scandal along with his teammates Willie Aikens, Vita Blue, and Jerry Martin. On November 17th, all four of them pleaded guilty to misdemeanor drug charges for attempting to purchase cocaine. This was a significant moment in baseball history because they were the first active major leaguers to serve jail time. They each spent 81 days at the Federal Correctional Institution in Fort Worth, Texas. Commissioner Bowie Kuhn suspended Wilson for the entire 1984 season as a result of the charges. However, Wilson appealed the suspension, and it was eventually reduced. He was able to return to the game on May 15th. The Royals decided to trade or release Aikens, Blue, and Martin. But Wilson was the only one who returned to the Royals after the scandal. From his early life, it was clear that Willie Wilson was born to be a baseball player.
I don't want your young people to make the same mistakes I made. Drug use can start very innocently, and before you know it, you're in over your heads. Once you're involved in drugs, you don't realize how many people you're going to hurt.
Wilson's journey to professional baseball began right out of high school. Despite signing a letter of intent to play college football at Maryland, he was drafted by the Kansas City Royals in the first round of the 1974 Major League Baseball draft, picked 18th overall. He kicked off his professional career with the Gulf Coast Royals, where he hit .252 with a home run, 14 RBIs, and 24 stolen bases in 47 games. In 1975, Wilson moved up to Single A with the Waterloo Royals. He had an impressive season, leading the Midwest League champions in both RBIs and stolen bases. The next year, he played for the Double-A Jacksonville Suns, batting .253 with a home run, 35 RBIs, and 37 stolen bases in 107 games. His performance earned him a call-up to the majors in September 1976. During this brief stint, he played in 12 games, mostly as a pinch runner or defensive replacement, though he did start one game on the second-to-last day of the season. He managed to get one hit and steal 2 bases in just 6 at-bats. Wilson began the 1977 season with the Triple-A Omaha Royals, marking what would be his last significant time in the minors. He batted .281 with 4 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 74 stolen bases in 132 games. Again, he was called up in September, but this time he saw more substantial playing time, batting .324 in 34 at-bats and stealing 6 bases. And the year 1978 was a turning point for Wilson, as it was his first full season in the majors. He shared the left field position with Tom Poquette, Clint Hurdle, and Joe Zadeb, ultimately getting the most playing time among the four. He also backed up Amos Otis in center field. Despite playing in 127 games, Wilson had just 198 at-bats, hitting .217 with 16 RBIs. Nonetheless, he made a mark with his speed, finishing 5th in the American League with 46 stolen bases. In the 1978 American League Championship Series against the New York Yankees, he appeared in 3 games, going 1 for 4 and earning a start in left field in Game 4, where he finished 1 for 3. His career, too, was phenomenal. Wilson started the 1979 season as the Royals' 4th outfielder, but by mid-May, he had proven himself to be the team's starting left fielder. Playing in 154 games, he batted an impressive .315 with 6 home runs and 49 RBIs. Wilson led the league in stolen bases with 83 and singles with 148. He also finished 7th in hits with 185 and 3rd in triples with 13. On defense, he was a standout, leading the league in range factor and putouts and finishing 2nd in assists among left fielders. In 1980, Wilson began the season as the starting center fielder, while Amos Otis was on the disabled list. He performed exceptionally well, showing great range and committing only one error in 195 total chances for the year in center field. When Otis returned in late May, Wilson moved back to left field but continued to excel. He ended the season with a .326 batting average, 3 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 79 stolen bases out of 89 attempts in 161 games. His 705 official at-bats set a major league record that stood until 2007 when Jimmy Rollins surpassed it. Wilson also led the league in hits with 230, runs scored with 133, triples with 15, and singles with 184. He finished 2nd in stolen bases and managed to get at least 100 hits from both sides of the plate. His outstanding performance earned him both the Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards, and he finished 4th in the AL MVP voting, his best result. One memorable moment from the 1980 ALCS was during Game 2. With the Royals leading by just 1 run in the top of the 8th, the Yankees' Willie Randolph was on second base with 2 outs. Bob Watson hit a ball to the left field corner of Royals Stadium. The ball bounced straight to Wilson, but Yankee third base coach Mike Ferraro decided to send Randolph home. Wilson's throw missed the cutoff man, UL Washington, but George Brett, positioned behind him, caught the ball and threw it to Darrell Porter, who tagged Randolph out in a close slide. TV cameras caught Yankee owner George Steinbrenner's furious reaction immediately after the play. The Royals won that game 3-2. Wilson batted .308 in the series and tied George Brett for the team lead in RBIs with 4 as the Royals swept the Yankees in 3 straight games. However, the 1980 World Series was a different story for Wilson. He struggled at the plate, batting just .154. His most notable moment came in Game 6, where he struck out against Tug McGraw for the final out, sealing the Royals' loss to the Philadelphia Phillies. This strikeout was Wilson's 12th of the series, breaking the record of 11 previously held by Eddie Matthews and Wayne Garrett in the 1958 and 1973 World Series, respectively. Ryan Howard later broke Wilson's record by striking out 13 times in the 2009 World Series. Despite the drug scandal, Wilson fought hard to redeem himself. Wilson's batting average slipped to .303 in the strike-shortened 1981 season, and his other numbers were also lower than the previous 2 seasons. In the 1981 American League Division Series against the Oakland A's, he batted .308 but didn't score a run, steal a base, or get an extra base hit in the 3-game sweep. In 1982, Wilson bounced back, batting .332 with 3 home runs and 46 RBIs in 136 games. He won the AL batting title, the first switch hitter to do so since Mickey Mantle in 1956. Even though the Royals missed the playoffs for the first time since 1979, Wilson made his first American League All-Star team and won his 2nd Silver Slugger award. He led the league in singles for the 4th year in a row and in triples for the 2nd time in 3 seasons. In 1983, Wilson moved to center field in June when the team decided to shuffle their outfield, moving longtime center fielder Amos Otis to right field and moving Pat Sheridan and Leon Roberts, who had been sharing right field, over to left. During this shuffle, Wilson had his worst season at the plate, batting .276 with 2 home runs and 33 RBIs in 137 games. In 1985, Wilson batted .278 with 4 home runs, 43 RBIs, and 43 stolen bases in 141 games. He led the league in triples for the 3rd time with a career-high 21. Wilson also gained redemption from his 1980 World Series performance, hitting .310 against Toronto in the 1985 ALCS and .367 against the St. Louis Cardinals in the 1985 World Series, helping the Royals to their first World Championship. Wilson remained a key player in the outfield for the Royals over the next 5 seasons. Although his hitting wasn't what it once was, he still hit a career-high 9 home runs in 1986, led the league twice more in triples, and continued to finish in the top 10 in steals, a run of 11 seasons that lasted until 1988. This might have continued had he not missed parts of the 1989 and 1990 seasons due to injuries. Wilson began the 1994 season on the bench behind Tuffy Rhodes. After playing just 17 games that year and recording a .238 batting average, he was released on May 16th, ending his major league career. Wilson retired with a .285 career batting average and 668 stolen bases, which ranks 12th all-time. For his career, Wilson hit 13 inside-the-park home runs, the most of any major league player playing after 1950. He topped a .300 batting average 5 times and led the league in triples 5 times, being one of only 4 players to accomplish that feat. Wilson posted a .987 fielding percentage as an outfielder in the majors. That is it for this one, but if you happen to like baseball legends, make sure to check out our latest videos. On our channel Baseball Icons, I'm sure you will love it.